40 years, massive milestone. I can only imagine the kinds of things the business has seen, you know, and through that time period. I think like the internet wasn't invented.
Yeah.
Like that's a sort of a major development for the business to go through, right?
Yeah.
And then everything else, and Elite Medical is in the distribution of medical equipment, and I imagine that's actually a fairly fast evolving kind of industry in its own way to a degree.
Yes, no, it is fairly conservative in that once a surgeon or once a healthcare professional finds something that works, they like to stay there.
Yep.
But there is always new technology coming along, and in the 90s, laparoscopic surgery started to really take off, and there was a lot of change around that time from compared to open surgery. So that was probably one big change we saw in the actual products itself. But along with that comes all the changes. We've seen robotic surgery come in. That's sort of like the next advance on laparoscopic surgery, I suppose. We don't get involved in that, but you do see it around the place. And then of course, COVID changed everything. Not necessarily with the technology, but just the way hospitals run and the whole healthcare system operates. So so that's some changes we've been through, and with that comes changes of product range and changes of suppliers, and you have to continually be upskilling as far as we're not medically trained, so you've got to try and in a little way keep up with what's going on.
So has the business always been based in Bulimba and Brisbane?
I think it started out at Cooperoo for a few years, and then we were in a building around the back streets here. We moved here in '91, I think. So that was only 5 years into the journey, I suppose. I was in grade 8. I remember riding my little push bike around the warehouse. And, when building was first acquired. So
back in the 90s, it was sort of after slave labour, but not by much. So at least you were getting to ride your bike and not sweep the place out.
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool though, that you were right in the business as it was getting started all those years ago.
Yeah. And I suppose that was grade 8. I joined here, left school in November '98, and started here a week later. And here I am still, which has its moments.
Well, it's not just you, is it? So it's your father before you, and
100%. It's the family. So there was quite a few of us involved. Things have evolved, and at the moment I'm the only one in the family here at the moment. But it's the way business evolves. Yeah.
So how much pressure is there on your son to get involved?
Oh no, he just needs to get a good education at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And what do you think about education in the age of AI? Are you pushing him in a certain direction?
It's more about making sure he knows how to learn, and how to find out information, how to make sure that it's accurate. So, in the world of AI, you can get lots of answers, but are they the right answers? And so, I think that's what we're trying to do with education. Not necessarily fill his head with knowledge or skills exactly, but with that critical thinking skills that enable you to decide whether is this accurate, what I'm reading, seeing, listening to, and how can I apply that in my life? So that's getting pretty philosophical pretty quick, but
that's all right. That's great.
But
I think a lot of people are dealing with that right now. Like, I'm personally dealing with my daughter last night, telling me, she's got an iPad and saying, I could look this up, and I'm saying, but how do you know that that's true? We're already having that argument, and she's just turning 10. So as a parent with your son's 15, did you say? Yeah. That's a really big question. I think that a lot of people are going through at the moment. It's like, wow, what how do we help these people get a career when we don't even know what jobs are actually going to exist in the near future?
I had a parent-teacher interview the other day, and the teacher said to my son, just don't use AI. We know you're using AI. He said, in the whole history of my teaching, I've never had a student send me an email that starts with, "I hope you're doing well." So that's
the signs will be there.
That's a giveaway straight away. So there's that whole side of AI as well of use it, but make sure you're using it just as a tool. It's not a replacement for your brain.
Well, actually, there's some investigation and science underway at the moment looking into I guess the non-technical term would be brain rot from using AI as well. So the jury's out. We'll have some longitudinal studies, from people more like Tim's age rather than our age, behind the camera over there.
I mean, the old saying is, I'm not ready for artificial intelligence. I'm still dealing with natural stupidity. So, but no, that's right. I've certainly, for me, I've never seen such a change of technology the way it's been adapted so quick and the impact it can have. And so, anyway, that's all. Yeah, that's all things you've got to deal with. So,
so you've got a really cool, unique perspective compared to a lot of people, right? So this day and age. I don't know what the exact stats are, but people, in younger generations are job hopping, and that trend I think has just come to a little bit of a pause over the last couple of years or so. But there was a period there where the average tenure was getting very low for certain generations. Whereas you've had this, 40-year behemoth experience, with a branded business and stewarding it over that time, learning the ropes initially and then, becoming the managing director. So, I'm keen to get an understanding of, are there events and challenges that sort of stand out as the biggest risk at the time, or was there a risk that you sort of knowingly took, which was the biggest chance you took on the business?
No, it's interesting. I mean, from your observation, I've been in the same job. I started '98, so that was 27 years ago. So it's with the same company, but I feel like I've been job hopping for 27 years within the same walls. So, started in the warehouse, just as packing up parcels, and then got into customer service and purchasing, and I was doing a bit of actually had a toolbox in my hand going around servicing some of the equipment for a while, then got into sales and sort of been quite involved in marketing and product development. So there has been quite a variety of roles that I've done, but you have to keep moving forward. Like you can, I suppose it sort of has got me sometimes. I'm still stuck here in these same four walls, but but it has been a lot of different roles. And the other thing is you constantly, you can get itchy feet and constantly looking for the next challenge, next opportunity, but sometimes you got to remember that the core business is the gold mine. You got to keep working on the core business. What is it that you do best? What is it you know inside out? What industry you're most familiar with? And then just mine that for all it's worth.
There's always another shiny thing to distract you away from the core business, isn't there?
Yeah. And so I did do that. I did sort of make that mistake, you might call it, or went down that path.
Have that learning.
That learning curve. That's it. So during COVID, obviously everyone was locked down. There's a lot more time to sit there and think about random ideas, and I decided to launch another company or another brand. I suppose it was completely outside of what we're used to. So it was actually a superfoods company called Healthy Llama, Healthy Llama. And at the time,
it's a cool name.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought too. We launched this, did a lot of research into it, a lot of market research, so we thought, and there was definitely a market there and a niche, and so we decided to launch into this whole new, it was a diversification really, new products to new customers, new market.
New everything. And this is 2020, 2021?
21 pretty much, 2021. And so, it was a big risk. And in hindsight, we probably should have done a bit more risk management around it. But that's, you say, learning curve. And we took a few goes to launch with food products. Sometimes I think we had to redo some packaging, and the first batch wasn't quite right, and a few things. And
that product development cycle for food, particularly in Australia, is pretty intense, isn't it? To actually get it to market, there is a lot of loops you got to go through.
I remember doing, they call it HACCP training, which is all around the whole quality of food. I got COVID and was sort of in quarantine, so I did this training while I'm sitting there trying to battle COVID. I remember that. It was a great opportunity. But anyway, what sort of I suppose what we weren't prepared for, what caught us out was how quickly market dynamics change in the food industry. Like consumers' tastes and trends just change so fast. We come out of an industry, medical devices, where things happen over a lot longer periods of time, and you've got years to sort of see the trends coming and make the changes. And we finally went to market, launched. I think it was late, sort of mid to late 2022. Got some initial success and thought things are going to go well, and then beginning of 2023, interest rates started to rise, cost of living started to catch up with everyone, and the consumers' taste for or desire for paying for premium healthy products just disappeared overnight. And 2022 we had some of the big supermarkets showing quite a lot of keen interest, and there was some big things on the radar, and then by 2023 they didn't even want to talk about it. They'd literally stopped talking about that category of products, and it was all about how can you do bulk buys, how can we offer more value to our customers. And anyway,
that's such a huge experience to go through. I can only imagine the amount of time and money that went into it, and then you're also dealing at the same time with the massive sort of emotions of COVID, right? for your other business and just your family and everything else.
Well, at the same time, there was a lot of the lockdowns continued, particularly not here in Queensland, but in New South Wales and Victoria, and we couldn't access. The hospitals were locked down to a certain extent. We couldn't access our normal customers, and they were sort of struggling themselves with a lot of things and weren't interested in change themselves. Well, weren't interested in looking at new products at the time. It was more about just how can we just try and keep this whole the hospitals on track. So it was certainly some interesting years. But ultimately we end up realising that there was no future really. I shouldn't say no future. We didn't want to invest any more cash in it at that point. So
so Healthy Llama, became a footnote, in the storied history of Elite Medical. But it does sound like, we're sort of joking about the learning from it, but I feel like in the experience that you had sort of all the way through from the in the warehouse and helping with marketing and everything else, going through that major sort of product development and bring to market sort of experience for a new brand and completely new category. Surely that gave you a whole lot of learnings that actually were useful in your main job with Medical as well.
No, massively. I think
painful and expensive lessons, but they're probably the ones that learnt the deepest as well.
Well, I suppose you look at it. You either you never lose. You either win or you learn, don't you? So, and that was definitely a learn. It's because we weren't winning. Certainly the whole learnt so much around brand management, brand development, product development. Even dealing with the bigger supermarkets and that whole that's a whole game in itself. A huge amount of insights that certainly translate across. It was interesting. It was an interesting time.
Now it's all about to sort of date this particular conversation as we talk in 2025. It's all about protein. You see, protein is on every single packet now. How much protein is in this ice cream? How much protein is in there? Like
protein water.
You
get protein water. No, that's right, and I think that just shows how the market dynamics shift so quickly in that industry, the food industry, particularly health food industry. What's a health food this year could be the world's worst thing next year. It's just it all depends, doesn't it? And so that sort of caught us out a bit, just the dynamics of how fast things can change. But so that's part of the history. Anyway, that's gone. We're back. It's the medical device side is what we're focusing on, and that's the way forward, I see. So
great. And so at the moment you've got distribution sort of throughout Australia and you're strong in Queensland.
Correct. Queensland's our home territory, I suppose. It's where our main market is.
That's the best state in Australia. So everybody wants to be here.
Yeah. How political are we allowed to get? No,
really
no.
political, like super, go for it. Yeah.
No, I won't.
Well, I mean, it is interesting from a perspective of, at the moment, and for the past few years, we're certainly seeing massive population growth in southeast Queensland, and Queensland as a whole. A lot of that is driven, from internal migration of people coming up from, Sydney and Melbourne. And I think, southeast Queensland is now home to 1 in 7 Australians. It is an interesting time to be based in Southeast Queensland.
With the Olympics coming up as well. There is a lot happening here. So I think that's probably another lesson we've had to learn is, previous years we've tended to think, there's a lot more to be had in Sydney and Melbourne and other parts of Australia, and yet, there's so much potential here in Queensland that we haven't tapped into yet. Doesn't say we still do. Distribute around the rest of Australia, but we need to maintain our focus here in Queensland and go from there.
City of Moreton Bay is the fastest growing local council area, in local government area in Australia.
I think our rates notices are probably the fastest growing rates notices.
I feel you're down in the Gold Coast. Those services better keep improving, I'll tell you. Fix that pothole. So 1998, you got started with Elite Medical. And as you said, you've done all kinds of different jobs in the business. Is there something particularly that you wish you'd done earlier, now with the sort of 20 years or so that you've got, under the belt?
Yeah, no, I think I wish I'd invested in myself a lot earlier, invest in my own professional development. The money you spend on just learning more about anything is good money spent, I believe. Recently I've been trying to upskill in a variety of different areas. Did a management course a few years ago. It was sort of over a few months. That was brilliant.
What was that course?
It was an executive management course. Really, there's about a group of about 15 of us that went through the whole basics of management and leadership at an executive level. What I learned out of that was invaluable, and the return I got from the investment was massive. I think what it does, it gives you the confidence, and you might say competence gives you confidence. So, the more tools you got in your toolbox, the more you're being exposed to different ways of doing something. It gives you more confidence to be able to make the decisions you need to make. I did the company directors course last year, I think it was. That was great. That was great. Certainly, there's a lot of law around being a company director. It can be quite scary sometimes when you think about it, particularly HR law and employment law. But once you actually understand the basics of it, it gives you the confidence to know what you can do and can't do, and how to be able to move forward, knowing that you're not breaking the law, basically.
Well, I feel like it's just sort of like it's a compass. You're navigating the ship, and like doing courses like that, you're actually understanding the lie of the land, right? And then you're the leader that actually understands. Well, those waters are dangerous over there. We need to go over here.
100%. And it gives you the confidence to push forward faster because you have the tools to do it. So I suppose that's one thing. Come back to your question. That's definitely one thing I wish I'd done earlier, is put a lot more into my own professional development.
That's quite inspiring. So so you did the management course, and then you were talking earlier about having done a marketing course as well.
I don't know whether you've seen it.
I haven't done it.
You haven't seen it? It's Mark Ritson's the guy that runs it. Mini MBA. It's a lot of fun. A lot of hard work, but it gives you a really good foundational knowledge on what marketing's all about. So that's been a real learning curve.
And so you're structuring this like a personal development goal to do one thing a year or something like that?
It's a loose goal, I suppose. So I don't know what the next training course is yet. But it's on my radar, and so when I see something comes up that I think is going to be useful, well, then I'm already in that mindset of ready to launch into it. So I don't know, have you got any suggestions?
My mind doesn't go immediately to a course, but I'm right at this moment. The tiniest little thing I'm focusing on at the moment is a breathing technique. Which is but I feel like it's a quick win, right? Because there's all this research to say. If you just do consistently sort of, some proper breath work, deep.
Hoffman, isn't it? Hoffman?
Well, there's the Wim Hof
The
stuff.
Wim Hof. What am I?
But then there's also just sort of like, holding your breath for a little bit every morning, and then, taking deep breaths down low and up high, and trying to do different stuff. And with that, people are talking about like good research to say this is actually now like a primary correlation to do with living longer is the size of your lungs. I'm like, all right, I don't need to eat Brussels sprouts. All I need to do is some breath work. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And obviously the health and the emotional side of things then just really plays so strongly into your ability to make good decisions and be motivating 100%. For people and all that kind of stuff.
No, 100%. It's personal development doesn't always have to be just filling your head full of business knowledge, doesn't it?
Although it is useful. My favourite ever book is Personal MBA by Josh Kaufman. So I love that one. And then I guess for us, the AI, tools and agents and how we integrate that. That's a huge focus.
No, that's true. It's there's a race to see who can be the first expert on AI, but it's happening faster. They can publish the books at the moment, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Is there a risk that you personally took on the business that you feel paid off at any stage?
I think for me personally, sort of staying in with one company, even though it is a family company, and even though I've got ownership stake in it and all the rest, when you do that, there is a risk that it's an opportunity risk. Maybe I could be doing something different. Maybe I could be doing something better. Maybe I could go further, faster in another direction. So, you do have to weigh that up. Are you better off improving what the paddock you're in now, or is that other paddock really greener?
It feels like that would be a decision that would weigh heavily on you. Like when you're starting out, but then regularly over time as well.
I've been pulling up to the same car park for 28 years, and I definitely have had moments like where I do not want to come to this car park again. And you've got to, you can let your emotions take over at that point. But you've got to sit back and realise, look at it very rationally. Is the bigger opportunity staying with what I know, or is the bigger opportunity out there in the wild unknown? So.
So the grass is always greener, as they say, but then I think it is always harder to stick with it, isn't it? Everybody can relate to that, right? Like so it's always hard to start. Like getting started is hard for some reason. It's just whatever the project is, it's like to just take that first step is just always so hard. It's like going for a run or whatever it is. Like starting's hard. But then you start something and it's fun and you're getting things done, but then there's always that point at which it's hard to keep going, and everything is a potential distraction to make you want to do something else. And you've been beating that for years.
You really don't get the rewards until you're sick of the input, do you? It's not until you're completely over, like the fun's long gone, it's the repetition, the routine, and then the results come. So I think that's the key to being able to psychologically just stay in that lane until you've got to the point where you're getting some rewards. So
10,000 hours to mastery and all that.
So that's sort of only 5 years of a normal work week. So
okay, great. So the investing in yourself is such good advice, and people can do that in so many different ways.
It's particularly in this day of it's all online. So and it's you can do it at your own pace and your own time. You don't need to go and sit in lecture halls anymore, or you don't need to sit there and read through vast textbooks. It's the way lessons can be delivered these days is so easy and cost effective. There's a lot less excuses now
Yeah.
to be uneducated.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting, the opportunity, right? I've got a few hours spare. I can learn about basically anything I want.
That's not asking AI either.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
yeah,
actually
that's
doing
getting
some
the proper,
structured learning.
the proper education that can be trusted.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you had wished you'd sort of done earlier, or was a big sort of key learning for you so far in your career?
I had a mentor tell me one time, he spent a lot of time with me, and I'll always be thankful for it. But one thing he said that sticks out is take the bull by the horns, and that's what I live by, I suppose, since then. And it's you can't sit back and expect everyone else to be the change that you're looking for. You've got to be the change yourself. So that was like a moment, I suppose, where my mindset changed in that you might be able to see the problems and you might complain about the problems, but it's up to you to fix the problems.
Yep.
And you've got to get in there and take that bull by the horns and make it run where you want it to run. So I suppose that was a pivotal point for me.
Yeah, it's a strong kind of totemic thought to have.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's not something you want to do. It's not something you want to do, but it's something you have to do. Yeah, like if you want to stop the bull charging in a direction you don't want it to go, you're gonna have to get into a spot where you're at risk, aren't you? Where you're likely to get a horn through your through your guts, or you get trampled on, but it's the only way to bring out change, isn't it? Is to get in there, right in where the action's happening, and actually be the change you want to see. So that was probably a big pivotal time. And then the power of setting goals. Just what is it you're actually trying to achieve? Can you articulate it? Can you put it on paper? Can you define it? Can you put a date on it? And then you're always going to go off course, but you've got that point to come back to and reflect on, and it sort of keeps you on the track. When you have those moments where you don't want to turn up at the car park, you pull out your goals and realise, well, this is probably the quickest way of actually getting there. So
it really resonates strongly with me. I think when I've not ever naturally been a goal setter, but I've always been really motivated. Yeah. So I've always done lots of things, even from a kid. Like I just wanted to do everything, but I never really sort of was like. Lots of kids would like they'd write, "I'm going to do this." Even my daughter, I see her, I'm like, "Wow, you're a natural goal setter. That's not me." And then so it sort of. I probably was a bit similar to you in business, and that we've just got lots to do. I don't need to formally have all this. But now we're in a sort of similar situation. I'm looking at like a quarterly cadence at the moment. So annual is like it feels like a long time, and it's great to have, and obviously got it's normal budgets and things like that. But trying a quarter out is like enough time to do big things.
I think there's a lot of research behind that 90-day sprint, 90-day cycle, and it's short enough to be able to control, but long enough to actually get something done.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
we'll awesome. Go call each other on it in 90 days.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. See who's further ahead.
So looking back at, I guess you were 17, 18, in 1998. Just graduating, starting the business. Is there one or a couple of things that you'd say to yourself right then?
As an 18-year-old, or even early 20s, you want to see results so fast, and you want to get ahead in life so quick. And what I'd probably say to myself is, don't expect to get results so quick. Put your effort into your inputs at that age. Input into your job, into your career, into your professional development, your investments if you've got them. Sort of financial planning. Work on your inputs. The outputs will come in time, and they will be a lot more higher quality output if you put the time into the inputs. So I suppose, does that make sense? Sort of
it does. It's a really. I've never heard anyone put it like that before. I really like it. So it's like, just you could succinctly say, don't focus on the output. Focus on the input. And the outputs will take care of itself.
And they'll come in time. So late teens, early 20s should all be about setting yourself up for the best success for the rest of your life. And we tend to live in a world where we want instant results, instant success, instant outputs, but it takes time. Good things take time. Just let it happen.
Yep.
So probably didn't learn that till the 30s or something. So
I feel like the 30s were a big learning era for me as well. Yeah. There's plenty of learnings coming in the 40s as
Oh
well.
yeah, that's
They
it.
keep
yeah.
coming, don't
no,
they?
you got to keep them coming.
Yeah. At least at that time in 1998, which is when I graduated as well, we didn't have all of the social media telling us we had to have the Lamborghini in our face every day, right?
No, 100%. Yeah. Well, mate, I don't know if it's just me or the group I hung around with or the generation in particular, but appearance didn't matter to the same extent, did it?
No, definitely not.
No.
So we talked about investing in yourself, and is there something that you would consider, the best investment that you ever made in the business?
So I don't know about the best investment, but certainly one investment that did pay off in the early days, and that was setting up a proper boardroom.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was interesting. When you're a smaller business, family business, sort of maybe a startup, and you're all in one office, but we got to a point where we did some renovations and we set up a boardroom, got a boardroom table, got some chairs. Yeah, it was a space where you could go away from the day to day and really focus on the bigger problems, or maybe you could interview potential staff or accountants when they come. And it was just that space to be able to really nut out the bigger picture things, and it helped elevate our decision making, I think, and it made us feel more serious about the business, and it was a change for us. And, one of the things I did was went and ordered the biggest whiteboard I could find.
Yep,
which is this one here.
Yeah. It stretches a long way off camera.
3 meters, 3 meter whiteboard. So, and because and that was pretty much the length of the boardroom.
Yep.
Anyway, it got delivered, and we tried to get it into the boardroom. And the boardroom was upstairs and up a staircase and around the corner, and there was just no way we could fit this
around the corner. Yeah.
In the end, we end up forklifting it through a window to get it in.
Wow.
But it paid off over just having a dedicated space you could go to, and this huge surface that you can just throw all your thoughts up and brainstorm. And so, I think that was a great investment in the early days, back when there wasn't much cash to invest in anything really.
It's really practical too. Yeah. And it plays to that, the reality of how important your environment is as a factor, on your performance and on your emotions and everything else as well.
Yeah, and the business really is decisions, isn't it? It's being able to make fast decisions and right decisions, and anything you invest in that enables you to make better quality decisions in faster time is really changing the pace of your business. So that was probably one investment we made that well and truly paid off. Yeah.
The forklift.
The forklift? No. The window. Thankfully the window is big enough.
So if you had to start over tomorrow, what's the very first thing you'd do?
I think for myself, what I'd do is build a network as fast as I could of anyone and everyone. And then, as you build it, you start to refine. And I suppose what I'd like to think is you'd go try and find a market. So you'd build a network and try and find a market within that that has a problem that I can solve. I know that sounds all airy-fairy, but I suppose what I'm trying to say is find the market first, then develop the product, then develop the business to deliver the product. The mistake I've made in the past is build the business, build the product, and then just hope that there's a market there for it. So that's not very practical. I know it's more sort of high level, but there's plenty of networking tools around here. Just one way or the other, spend every waking moment contacting as many people as you can by whatever channel you can reach them, and something will come out of it. I think that's the point. Something will come out of it that resonates, that you'll see a common problem, see a common frustration. If it's something you can fix, well then you have a market there.
Because you've been running Elite Medical for quite some time, it's an established business, and lots of customers. For the sort of development of new markets, does it just happen organically, or do you have to sort of try to make it happen? You talked about the industry you're in being sort of a little bit of a slower product cycle than consumer packaged goods and things like that. Yeah.
I wish I could tell you there's this magic rule we've got that works, but there isn't one. It's
often the way in business.
It's a mix, I suppose. I mean, medical devices are complex. You know, a lot of regulatory regulations around them, and so having a supplier is almost as important as having the customer base. So sometimes you go to the market and see what the problems are, and then go backwards from there and go out and see if you can find a product that solves that problem. Other times you'll come across innovation, come across new products, new companies overseas, working well overseas, and then what you're doing is you're really bringing that innovation to here to Queensland, and so I suppose that's the other way of doing it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't yet found the magic formula for matching customer needs to availability of supply of medical devices.
The real world is not a mathematical formula, is it? There's so many dynamic constraints.
Much as I just finished saying, go to the market first.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's what you would. That's how you would start, and then it's just some of the products we've come across have been doctors or nurses that have seen products overseas at trade shows or conferences, and then spoken to us about, do you know where you can get these products from? And then you join the dots, and then sometimes you're able to actually get the distribution for that product and work it around the other way. So sometimes it's a widespread need and it's a win. Sometimes that's the only doctor in Australia that wants the product, and you realise you've just been his purchasing officer instead of actually being able to develop an actual business case out of it.
So, we talked about the motivation that goal setting gives you, and sort of investing in yourself, and that feeling of consistently showing up. Are there any books or movies that have sort of helped you with that motivation?
I have this bit of a bad habit of buying 3 or 4 books on Amazon, whatever they suggest as well, and then you sort of flick through 1 or 2 of them. And so, but no, there is a couple that really stand out. Probably one I read as a late teen, might be early 20s. You would have heard of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So I think it was Stephen Covey wrote that book. His son, Sean Covey, wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a dumbed down version. It's sort of it's a lot simpler language, but the same principles apply, the same 7 habits, and that had a huge impact on me. I suppose it was sort of that first introduction to what they call emotional intelligence, or just how to relate to people and how to get ahead in life. So
how did you come across it?
I think I just saw it walking through a local library.
So it found you, and you were ready for it. It was that point in time.
I was walking through.
I love how people read books at certain points in time. And they have those big impacts on them. You were looking for it, and the title obviously resonated with you.
I think I might have actually seen or bought The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's quite heavy reading, particularly as a younger person. And when I saw this, it was it jumped out at me. But I borrowed the book and read it, and then years later I bought it because I wanted to read it again when I was 10 years later. So I've still got it at home.
Awesome.
Trying to get the kids to read it. So probably the other book that stands out is a book called The Go-Giver.
I don't know that one.
You haven't read that one? No. So there's a common expression about the go-getter, the guy that's hustle, trying to get as much as he can. This flips it on its head, and it's the go-giver, and it's like you get ahead by giving, not by getting. The more value you give, and without any expectation of return, the more comes your way. And
that's such a good term to encapsulate that.
Go-giver.
Quite a big concept. I mean, it's a simple concept, but it's
a good book. It's like a narrative. It's a narrative style rather than textbook style. And this guy goes on this journey. And, but the principles are, give your time, give without any expectation of return, and you'll get far more back than you ever expected. So And that's not just in business, that's in every aspect of
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah.
I've been trying to sort of drum that into the kids,
Yeah.
you know, like when they're ripping at
Yeah.
the same toy or all that kind of thing, and they just, you know, it's really, it's a funny one because it's fundamentally so true, so obviously true when you're, you know, old enough to appreciate it and experience it, but then for kids, it's
counterintuitive. It is counterintuitive, but as you get older, you realise, the times you got ahead were where you were willing to give something without anything in return, and so those two books. I mean, there's a ton of others I've read, but they're probably the ones that change your mindset. Change. So I don't think anyone refers back to their accounting textbook, does there? Is there one that changed their life?
No,
but you need that.
We're sorry, accountants. We love you. We need you. But I mean, there's a skill, I guess, in presenting those like really important paradigms in a way that lands too. All right, so you've got this unique history here with Elite Medical, and I'm sure you've thought about it. And some people haven't when I ask this question, but if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I actually love to be a landscaper.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a landscape designer. Yeah. I'm probably useless behind a shovel or a bobcat. I'd make a complete mess. Yeah. But the idea of green spaces, bringing green spaces to life, I think is something that's always interested me.
Is there any local businesses in Brisbane or brands that you feel are quite inspirational or a good shout out at the moment?
Earlier this year, we sponsored a dinner for a nurses group, and we actually went to a place over at Wilston called Archer Brewing. I don't know whether you've seen them.
Sounds like someplace I should check out.
100% Archer Brewing. They brew what they call a QPA, which is Queensland Pale Ale.
All right, so, I love it.
So the beer's fantastic, great place, and the guys that run it are good guys. So happy to shout them out.
Well, look, it sounds like hard work, but I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely.